What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and today I'm going to talk about the box. And
you don't mind my asking.
Society is like a box, and
why a box?
They are trying to trap us in this box. They want us to be in a box. They want,
Our home is a box.
they want our thinking and the way we do things to be very rigid and confined. And they want us to think inside the box and do not want us to think outside of the box, i.e. to consider new possibilities and to consider new ways of doing things. When you grow up, it's like you go to school, your family is a certain way. If you were religious, your religion is a certain way, and they have these very rigid confines of who you are and who you should be. Politics and whatever, the education system, social movements, whatever, anything to do with the system will try to get you in this kind of mindset where you're like a robot and you're just sort of marching along and you don't have much access to your own willpower. And in these situations, there's authority figures and stuff like that are saying, hey, don't act upon your own will. Don't do your own thing. Don't think for yourself. You follow along, you follow the rules, and that's how you're good. And there's the rules on the surface, and there's the rules underneath, and whatever. That's all complicated stuff. But my point is that, from a very early age, you are confined in these rigid structures. And the more you get older, the more rigid the structures become. Now you got to get a job, you got to go to some job, and you got to go there and do your thing. And then, as an adult, you become more rigid and you want to, you want to make sure all your responsibilities are taken care of and stuff. And yeah, you got to do that, but that can get you in a very kind of rigid way of thinking. And then you don't really have any time or energy left over to be creative, to whatever, to be who you want to be and to do the things that you want to do. And the whole point of the box is to make it, and the box is the Matrix, same thing, the box, the Matrix, I'm just calling it the box in this video. But the whole thing is that you're going to lose the sense of who you are, your own identity in this box. And they put a box on your mind, and then once you have a box on your mind, that box will go down into your heart. You'll get a box in your heart that's very bad, get a box in your guts, whatever. All up in your system is this box. And once they get the box in your mind, then you lose power over your own mind. You lose the ability to use your own mind in the way you are supposed to use it. And your mind is an incredibly powerful thing. It's the head of your body. Literally, it's the head of your body. It's the command deck of your body. It's the command deck of you, not just your body, but it's the command deck of, mind, body, and spirit, the mind part. Your mind is hugely important, and if they can get your mind, they can get the rest of you. Slowly but surely, they will get the rest of you if they get your mind. And that's what they're trying to do at an incredibly early age. And your mind can do amazing things. Your mind can think of new ideas, new ways of doing things. Your mind is a big place of where you hold, maybe not your identity, but your personality. Your personality is held entirely within your mind. So they're already trying to have you take on this certain personality, to start to think about who you are as a person, and start to think about what is possible. And they want this stuff to be very, very limited. Very limited. And they want you to be very just rigidly confined and stuck. And they don't want, people who are going to think outside the box, have new ideas, new ways of doing things, because that threatens the status quo, and that threatens the way things are done. And I don't know, there's this whole system, this whole matrix. It's like there's people at the top who want to keep this going because they have certain money and whatever, there's certain ways they're invested in it. But then there's whatever, people all throughout society will enable this thing. It's like they want us to just stay stuck and warehoused and limited. And it's like they just want society just to be this just Groundhog Day, one day after another, of just the same. You go to the same job, you do the same thing, and I don't know, there's no adventure to it. There's nothing fun going on. And I don't know, like, I think if we all, like, the thing is, if the consciousness of everybody changed and people were like, man, there's a different way of doing things, we need to do things differently, like, the whole world would change and become better. But first, people need to be loving in their hearts. And unfortunately, most people deep down are hateful in their hearts. They don't have an idea of, like, of this generative expansiveness of giving, of giving and love, and just like, love is that fuel source. Instead, they're more about taking. It's not, whatever. They're more about, like, it's about, like, hatred and lack, and there's not enough, and I have to get mine, and I'm nervous, and I'm anxious, and, and I'm not going to get mine, and these people are in my way, and I'm just going to get crushed by these people who are bigger than me, and, it's just all this just, like, hatred, doubt, lack mentality. And I really think it's a two-way cycle, because it starts from the top and it goes down, but then the people on the bottom, like, really are like, we got to keep this going. We got to keep this hatefulness in the heart going, this lack. That's why when you talk to a lot of people, they're always talking about, oh, my day is so bad, things are so hard. Oh, it's just like, I talk to people who work at a security desk, and, I'm not trying to disparage these folks, but they sit at this desk, they look on a computer screen, they do nothing all day. And I've talked to certain people who do this job who are more out of the matrix, and they're like, yeah, this job's easy. I sit here, I do nothing. But when I talk to most people in that position, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I've just been busting my butt here. I've literally heard that conversation. I didn't say anything to them. I didn't want to, like, fight with them, whatever. But I'm just like, man, like, doing what? Sitting at a desk, doing nothing all day? Come on, man. Come on. And I've had jobs where you don't really do much. It is what it is. But just, like, be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the situation. But people want to have this downer mentality that they're suffering hard, or they want to gossip about somebody. I'm telling y'all, like, talk to your average person, just average Joe Blow Schmo. It's either going to be gossiping about somebody just for no reason, just like find something to just like talk bad about someone behind their back, or it's going to be like, oh, it's so hard out there, man. I got stuck in traffic, and oh, it's horrible out there, and things can be hard out there. I'm not saying things can't be hard. They can be hard sometimes. It is what it is, but that's just a baseline mentality they have, even when it's not actually hard, and even when things weren't actually tough. It's just like they have this baseline mentality of just, oh, bro, it's awful out there, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and there's a difference between being realistic and addressing problems and just like being always negative about stuff. And that's what it is with your average person. Always negative about stuff. Always just upset about something, angry about something, jealous at somebody. Always just like, it's like their heart is just like generating this negativity. It's not even in response to outside stimuli. And like if an outside stimuli comes along and like something annoys them or something makes them feel not good, it's almost like they're like, yes, we can gossip about somebody. We can talk bad about them behind their back. We can complain. Yay, we get to complain. It's like that base attitude and base mentality. And if people have that base attitude and base mentality, it's the box, people, we stay stuck in the box. We stay stuck in the matrix, because if you don't have love in your heart, that love will light up your mind and will get your mind working properly and will set your mind free. But if your heart is just like, oh, it's terrible, and oh, I hate the people around me, and oh, let's try to gossip and gang up on somebody, and oh, let's be jealous of this person. If the base mentality is just like that. And the thing about those people is, at that point, it's not like mind control from the top or whatever you want to call it. It's not manipulation from the top. At that point, those people are 100% choosing to enable that and choosing to pick that up and carry that. They're taking that upon themselves and choosing to act very negative and choosing to have a negative attitude. And the thing about those kind of people, if some kind of dictator or some kind of like bad, horrible thing comes around and it's some kind of, we're killing a bunch of people, or, there's some new crazy regime, and those kind of people will go along with it. And a lot of those kind of people will cynically enjoy it too. And you kind of get what I'm saying. Like, out of their negativity, they will enable negative things and go along with negative people. And I think you guys get the point I'm trying to make, that just like that mentality, it might seem innocent at first. It might seem innocent enough. It might seem okay enough, but like when everybody's doing it, it adds up and it can create some very bad results in society. And the thing about those people, they do all this complaining and they do all this, oh, it's so hard, oh, poor me. But when something bad is actually happening around them that's affecting other people, they don't care at all. It's because as long as it's not happening to them, whatever. And when it comes time to actually like change stuff, make stuff better, solve the problem, fix the problem, they're too apathetic to even do that. They're apathetic and uncaring. And that's another thing. People they're apathetic. They don't care. They're just like, oh gosh, whatever. Well, it didn't happen to me, so it's like it didn't happen at all, And they'll just kind of apathetically, without any emotion, robotically just like kind of watch stuff happen and watch bad things happen, watch bad things go down, and just watch society crumble and collapse, whatever, and are just like, oh geez. And that keeps you in the box. It keeps that mentality keeps us all trapped in the box. And it creates a very rigid, way of thinking. And the thing about those people is like, they might celebrate you to your face, but deep down, like they want to see you stuck on the bottom of the crap bucket with them too. Seeing you get out and do things differently, it offends them. It's an affront to them. Because they have this very basic's not even the right way to say it. They have a very limited, like they're just not using all the parts that they can use. And when they see you do that, they don't like that. That's like, what? He's doing that? He's not allowed to do that. What? He's not allowed to do that. And I mean, a big example of the box is organized religion. Organized religion is a huge matrix, a huge box. And if you want to seek God, spirituality, your higher purpose, and you want to really figure out like what the meaning of life is and stuff, they say, oh, just go to this religion, go to this church, just just warehouse yourself, sit back, listen to the sermon, do the rituals, say your prayers, whatever, do it in a very ritualistic, structured, way that the authority figures approve of. Do it in the way that the authority figures tell you to do it, and you'll be good. And they all go along with it. Oh, this great cleric, pastor, religious leader person who's probably some freaking creep, but whatever. A lot of them are. I'm just gonna be honest. And then they don't want to think for themselves. They don't want to actually do this work for themselves. And they're just like, oh, just go along with him. Isn't he so great? Doesn't he care? They just want someone to project this stuff onto so they don't have to do it themselves. It's kind of hard to describe it, but people just want it spoon-fed to them. But they want something spoon-fed to them that satisfies their own ego. They don't want to be told things that are going to challenge them, or challenge their ego, or challenge their worldview. They don't want to have any kind of a mental challenge. They don't want to be challenged in their mind and their heart, and be challenged to have a different worldview, to open up their mind, to think about things differently, to consider new possibilities. Their ego can't stand that. They're very egotistical, and they believe that the stuff they're doing is 1,000,000% right. And they have not investigated. They have not, looked into it. They haven't, They haven't done any research. They have not looked within themselves. They have not looked within their own heart. They have not looked within their mind. They haven't done anything to affirm why they believe this stuff. And this can be anything. This could be politics, religion, atheism. This could be an obsessive belief in a lot of so-called scientific narratives. There's a lot of different things that this could be. This could be a huge belief in the medical system or the educational system, whatever. But they have this thing that they just like, I believe it so much, and I have no good reason to believe it, but just it's what I've been told to believe, and I've swallowed it, and now I feel like it's mine, and I came up with it, and you know, and if this is challenged in any way, I'm just gonna freak out, and I'm gonna personally attack that person, and I'm gonna like get this big consensus around me and get all these other people to say, yeah, that's right. And guess what? Consensus does not equal reality. Consensus does not equal truth. It doesn't. You could get a huge consensus of people to believe something that's not true. You could. You know, you could get a huge consensus of people to say that an elephant is the smallest animal and that an elephant is smaller than a mouse. An elephant is smaller than a mouse. They've never seen an elephant. They don't know what it looks like, whatever. And they're saying this, an elephant is smaller than a mouse, blah, blah, blah. And they're all believing it, and they have never seen an elephant. They don't even know what an elephant is or what it looks like, but they're just like beating their chest like, it's smaller than a mouse. We're all doing it together. If you think an elephant is 1,000 pounds, or I don't know, elephant's like freaking 10,000 pounds, you're stupid, you know? An elephant only weighs 2 ounces. We all have a consensus. Yeah, you know, and it's like, that doesn't make it true. That doesn't make it true, but their eyes are just closed, and they just do this stupid community gaslighting is what it really is. And I mean, this kind of thing has had a horrible effect on society and on human consciousness and on whatever. I mean, that kind of mentality is just horrible. And deep down in their hearts, they know what they're doing. Deep down, they might not know in their mind. In their mind, they might not know. But deep down in their hearts, they know what they're doing. And they know they're just being weirdos and not really having any good reasons for believing the things they're believing, but they're just like so pridefully hold on to it. And if you challenge it, you get a whole bunch of these people, they all come together, no, dumb, stupid. And then they have their authority figures. Oh, they love their authority figures. And they'll say, oh, you know, give me a sec here. They got their authority figures. Oh, someone, he's a professor. He's a religious leader. He's a scientist. He's a this. He's a politician. She's a that. And therefore, because they're this quote-unquote authority figure, and just on that alone, not on anything that this person has said, not on anything that this person has proven, on no actual merit, on no actual truth itself, they'll say, well, he's the authority figure, so therefore, what he says is true, and don't question it and go along with it because he's an authority figure. And it's like, okay, you want to say that person's an authority figure? What are they actually saying? Why are they saying that? Why are they believing that? What have they proven? You know? And this whole thing of like authority figure, like, who cares? Oh, he's a doctor. It's like, well, why is he saying what he is saying? What is he standing on? You can be a doctor if you want. You can be whatever you want. But why are they saying the things that they're saying? And for the most part, those authority figures are just going along with the Matrix. They're just going along with what the rabble is saying. They're just going along with what they've been, quote unquote, always told, and have never questioned anything. Question everything. Question everything you're told. Everything. Everything, because it's a bunch of bull honky. And a lot of this stuff, people are just holding on to a false presupposition. And they're desperately clinging on to these false presuppositions. I mean, the way our government is, and the way we like have nations, and the way our education system is, and the way religion, the way a lot of we're doing stuff in society, the way most of the things we're doing in society is just backwards and wrong and does not make sense. And I would have to do a lot of research and to look into stuff a lot to really figure it all out. But I just know that all this stuff smells bad, and I know all this stuff does not fit in my heart. It does not fit in my mind. But these people are just like beating their chest and holding on to this stuff, and like to their own destruction too, because reality is reality, and this communal lies and this communal gaslighting that like everyone in the world is deciding to believe, it's going to come to an end eventually. Like the truth is like a freight train. You know, the truth is like the freaking right hand of God. You ain't going to stop that. You ain't going to block that. That thing is going to knock these liars the F out. And like they can try to keep these lies going for generations and generations, but the truth is going to freaking give them a freaking, it's going to bitch slap them. You know, bitch slap them into reality, and they still won't accept it. They'll still say, oh, well, it's an anomaly, whatever. They'll do anything they can because they're just egotistical and prideful to like hold on to this lie because they don't want to be wrong. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of disillusionment to realize the way you've been living your life is a lie. I've had to deal with that a couple times in my spiritual journey, and I think a lot of people cannot face the fact that they have lived a lie. They can't deal with it. They can't accept it. So they just desperately freaking hold on to it. They're like, oh no, it's this. It has to be this. And if people could just let go of their own egos, this system and this box would fall right apart. And the thing is like without that, all these, I don't know, the Freemasons, whatever, all the people at the top who are trying to pull the strings, none of their stuff would work if people just became more humble. All their little games would not work at all. And the truth is, they don't run anything. Ego runs the show. You know, people are saying, oh, it's these elites in the back pulling the strings. Sure, on a surface level, yeah. But at the end of the day, their stuff would not work without ego. People's egos are what is running the show. And people's egos, like your ego is like a mind disease. Your ego, like, it takes your mind and just like limits it and just shoves it down. Man, that's what it really is ego. But there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about in this video. Just let me take a deep breath, drink this Perrier, and settle myself a bit. And the thing is, there's a lot more than just this physical world. There's all kinds of invisible things we can't see and perceive of. There are higher dimensions, higher realms. And that, again, that's also like really makes the ego mad. Like the ego's like, if I see it and I experience it, it's true. Anything outside of that, no, you know? So the ego really hates that and is like angry with that. But the truth is there's things so much bigger than us. So much bigger than us. There is God, who is the biggest of the big, and he is so much bigger than us. And I just think like if people can start to see that and realize like, man, we're part of this big amazing world, this infinite amazing world, like wow, you know. And if people could just get out of the mind, because again, this stuff really imprisons the mind. It puts the mind in a box. It traps the mind in a box. And if people could just kind of think like, all right, you know, why am I going to work? Why am I trying to make this money? What the heck's the point of all this? What's the point of all this? Why am I really doing it? What's really the meaning of this? What's really the purpose of this? Who do I really want to be? Most people have not faced that. And that's why when I look at most people, they seem sad. They don't seem happy. They're just kind of going through this grind with no rhyme or reason why. And that's very crazy. And they're very limited. It's like the Matrix is like a 3-dimensional maze. And you're very locked in, and you can't like And because it's three-dimensional, it seems intricate, it seems big, it seems expansive. The Matrix is kind of like a video game. You know, you're in this video game, you got all these places to explore and go to, but then it's like, what's outside the video game? I don't know, think about like Skyrim, or I don't know, one of those Breath of the Wild, one of those games you can explore around in. It's like the Matrix is like that, but it's like, man, there's like thousands of other video games you could play, and you're just playing this one video game. Like, what? And it's not very good. It's like an okay, mediocre, lukewarm game. That's literally what it's like. You know, you have, it's like you only play one game, one video game ever. And it's like, you know, there's thousands of video games you could play. It's video games about skateboarding, about whatever, about, I don't know, war, about Mario rescuing Princess Peach, or I don't know what, Mario jumping around and stuff. Like, you got so many different options and things you can do. There's no reason to be so limited and so locked in on something. It's just, it doesn't make sense. And I mean, people get stuck in this box and they just live this bland, boring, dull, mediocre, taking no risks kind of life. Like, very few people will actually like pursue a passion, I don't know, do music, do art, do like something they really want to do. Very few people will actually pursue passions. And most people, they're just going around the grind, going around in a circle. You go home, you go to work, you go home, you sit in front of the TV, you wake up the next day, you do it again, and every day it's just the same. And it's just this low risk, bland, dull, boring, mediocre life. And I see people at work, and it's like the life is just gone from their eyes, and they're just like shuffling along, like very, very robotically, like, and it's just, man, it's sad, and there's a spirit to it, and it's not what you want. You want to be free in your mind. You want to consider all possibilities, question everything, and just like realize that like pretty much anything is possible. Within reason, infinite possibilities. The thing is, you can just take your slice of infinity. A slice of infinity is still infinity. So just find your slice of infinity, your piece of God that he gave you, that you're alive with now, that we're all living through, and go forward. And F society, and F all these people, and all their limitations, and all their being down, and you're going to feel dragged down by most of these people anyway. So just like F all that, get out of the box, think for yourself, and just crush forward. Smash forward, explore new possibilities. It's a basic 3-step process, and I'll talk about this in a separate video, but figure out what you want to do, figure out how to do it, and execute. Do it. And I feel like that first step people get stuck on bad and don't even figure out what they want to do. It's tough. Second step, people are all right. And third step, people just don't do that one either. You know, you just got to, and you can do anything within reason. You have your slice of infinity, and you can just do anything with it. You really can. And just like break free from it. Start enjoying life. Start doing new things. Start exploring new things. And you'll see, like, when you're first starting out with this, people around you, they'll instinctively try to stop you. Random people will take weird, not good interest in you and, like, be up in your business. And you will encounter resistance from, like, the devil, from the forces of evil. Really, literally the devil, the Satan, whatever. You will encounter resistance from fallen people and people who are staying stuck in this box and stuck in this mindset of lack. You will encounter resistance from those people, but keep moving forward, and you'll get into the open mindset. You know, God gave us free will. He does not want our mind in a box. He does not want our heart in a box either. He wants us to be set free entirely. And that's what y'all are going to do. And you're going to find true happiness. And you're going to think of new ideas and new ways of doing things that other people have not thought of. And you're just going to do crazy, awesome, unique things that people have not seen before. And people are going to go, wow, how did he or she think of that? By getting out of the box, by getting out of the matrix, and by being able to think about things in an entirely expansive, amazing new way. One more thing I want to add in is the way the mind works. When we see a picture, we don't see in 3D. We see in 2D. We just see a flat image. Then we can explore that flat image in the third dimension with like our hands, our touch, whatever. But we only see in 2D. So you got to use your full, complete mind. You can't just have the vision. You got to have the vision. You got to have the data. You got to put them all together. You know, that's what true genius comes from, is taking your creative, you know, right brain and your analytical left brain, pop them together, and boom, you are flying, you are going. But most people are put to either have a left brain imbalance or a right brain imbalance. And you can't, you need to use both of those. You got to put the brain together so you can have the data, and the data can make an image, or you can have an image and then you can analyze that image and get the data out of it. And then you can just think in like so many different directions. You're literally a pure genius. And like Leonardo da Vinci and all the geniuses throughout history had a balanced left and right brain. But you know, most of us, we are fractured and put to not have balance in our mind at all. And it just limits us so much. And one more thing before I end this is get in touch with your inner child. You know, the inner child learns fast, is creative, can do new things. But as we grow up, and this happens at a very early age, we are locked out of that childlike innocence and creativity and freedom and that childlike belief. You know, when a child really believes, they believe they can do it, and anything is possible. There's no doubt or limitations in that. So go back to that innocent child as best that you can. It does not matter how old you are. You can go back to that inner child. You can reclaim that. And you can get back to being free and loose and innocent. You can regain that. And they don't want you to regain it. Regain your inner child and you will have lots more energy. You will be a lot better. They want you to be stuck in like a mindset where it's like once you're an adult, it's harder to learn new things. You're more kind of set in your ways. You're not growing anymore. You're just kind of, you are who you are, and you're going to stay static. Whereas the child is always growing and developing and having new things happen. Stay in that childlike state where you are growing and developing and always learning new things and all that stuff. And really you want an inner adult, inner child balance where the inner child can go to the inner adult and be like, hey, is this a good idea? Is this going to work? Help me out here. And the inner adult can say, yeah, we can do that. We're going to need to do blah, blah, blah. And, you know, can tell the child how to be like realistic and stuff. Ideally, you want that, but that's also a separate topic. Yeah, I've gone on really long here. I'm already at like 35 minutes, so I'm going to end this video here, but thank you all so much for watching. You all are amazing. Much love. God bless, and I will see you all next time.